Big 12 insider, college football content creator Fisher Hargrove joins Locked On Big 12. Fisher, I've been of the mind, if you're an A&M fan, if you're a Missouri fan, you probably think, oh, I love it. We went to the SEC. Yeah, you live in Coppell, Texas. You're a big, you know, your mom went to A&M. You had to go to Blim, but your mom went to A&M. You live in Joplin, Missouri, and your uncle went to Mizzou. You heard the war. Well, he got kicked out of sophomore year, but he went there for a little bit. So you're a fan. And you thought, we're so glad with the SEC. Now, of course, we're below 500 in SEC play since we joined the conference, and we can't seem to succeed on the national level or win the SEC championship. But the school's making a lot more money. And Fish, my pushback is Dan in Coppell has never seen a dollar of that money that his school got. And instead, all he's seen is more and more losing. It just means more losing. You leave the Big 12, you're best suited to be, and you try to go to the big pond where the fish are way bigger. Those schools cannot compete for championships there. They can win every now and then. They cannot compete. Leaving the Big 12 was a mistake because it killed the viewership of the actual fan.
I mean, hey, at least they have a shiny new stadium that they have to pay $800 to sit front row at, you know? And this really has been my problem with A&M as a whole. It's not the fact that they're a cult. It's not because they are. It's not the fact that they don't have cheerleaders. And it's not the fact that they act like it's their year every year. It's the fact that all of that is tradition, and they pride themselves on tradition. Their fight song is about their rivalry with UT. Their saying "Gig 'em" is about their rivalry with TCU. And I went on a tour there, and all they do is hammer tradition into you, and they left it all for money. In 2011, they said, "No, we're good. We're going to take money, even though we claim we are tradition based. That's all we care about. We're going to get a new stadium, and we're going to join the SEC. And then we're going to go under 500 the entire time we're there." Hey, but at least they got an Heisman winner out of it.
That is the whole. Yeah, Kevin Sumlin, because that worked out really well, right? Yeah. And Jimbo Fisher, because that worked out really well. And they're now still paying head coaches that they had to fire, and they're paying them because they fired them. That's kind of been the MO for these Big 12 schools, or really any school that joined the SEC. Arkansas in 94, 95, in that, hey, let's go join the SEC. And it's been terrible for them for 30 years, blowing up the Southwest Conference. I know the toothpaste is out of the tube, man, but wouldn't it be awesome if we could just wave the magic wand tomorrow? And I think ultimately they may not know it's for the better for themselves, but A&M and Missouri fans should agree that we could wave that magic wand and go back to the way things were. It would behoove them a ton because, yeah, the school's getting more money in the SEC, but that brand new hot tub at the training facility, you don't get to use that. The fans don't get to use that. They're just seeing more losses.
Agreed. And I think if you were to ask a fan, would they rather have a new stadium, or would they rather than going 7-6 every year or 8-4 every year, and the SEC go 10-2, 11-1 every single year in the Big 12? I think they'd rather that. I think they would rather have more accolades than a brand new building on campus. I think the average A&M fan and average Mizzou fan would much rather that. And it makes me wonder if A&M knew that the playoffs were right around the corner when they agreed to join the SEC. If they knew, hey, our path to the championship is going to get a lot harder now that we have to go through Bama, Georgia, and LSU every single year just to get in a chance to sniff at the national championship. I wonder that. I wonder if they knew it was coming.
Can I make I can't, it's my show. I'm going to make a fairly bold statement here that I think is just true. If A&M and Missouri walk back to the Big 12 tomorrow, it doesn't automatically mean they contend.
The way we've seen that pan out, I just don't think that those two schools are going to be contenders even in the Big 12.
No, not especially today. I mean, if you look at how the bowl season went, especially, I really don't think that like I said earlier, I don't think the SEC is as dominant as they think they are. And then beyond that, I think if A&M and Mizzou hop back in, especially Mizzou, hop back in right now, I don't think they're top of the conference like they think they are. I think they learn really quickly. We got to adjust. We got to do something. I mean, A&M year after year has had at least top 5 recruiting classes for the past, 5 years or something, especially in the transfer portal. And what do they have to show for it? I mean, going 7-5, ooh, you beat Bama a few times. That's their biggest accolade, is that, hey, we beat Bama when they were number 1. Okay. Did you win a national championship with all of that Houston oil money? Have you done any of that? I don't think it makes sense for them to have done that. And looking back, I don't think it makes sense for them to leave the Big 12. I get they're pissed about Longhorn Network, But I think, again, hindsight, it makes more sense to stay in the Big 12 and really bolster that conference. Sure, we just lost Nebraska, but that was forever ago, and we had just lost Mizzou, but that's not that bad of a hit. I think if they stay, they try to pull someone like Arkansas into the Big 12. I think if UT and OU stay, the Big 12 right now has Washington and Oregon. And I fully think if they just stayed within the conference, the Big 12 is, I mean, if you look at the Big 12 picture in 2011, that is a power conference today. That is a for sure every year contending conference. So yeah, I just don't really know why A&M felt the need to hop out and make their lives harder.
I regret doing this, but put yourself in the mind of an A&M fan. Sorry. Or a Missouri fan. You're in their headspace. Would you rather win or you have your school bring home money?
Well, right. It hurts, actually, what's going on. You just had me jump into a Missouri and an A&M fan's brain. So I'm kind of in pain, but I'd rather win. You know, I'd rather much rather would. Sure, maybe I get my ass beat by UT every year, but I don't care. That's my one loss of the season. I am cool with doing that every year if it means I have a few Big 12 championships under my belt. If I have a few conference championships under my belt, I am so happy with that. I don't need a Kyle Field. I am cool with playing in Floyd Casey if it means that I bring some freaking accolades.
Fish, before we wrap up this thing, you are Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner. Let's flip it to the Big 12 for a second. What is your number one point of emphasis on XYZ to change? Like if you're going to succeed against the mighty SEC and the big bad A&Ms and Missouris of the world, what do you flip to help build back the Big 12 pieces that need to make them a prominent conference?
A lot of that is going to be retroactive. I think we don't try to get Cincinnati or UCF or Houston. I love the Cougs, but part of me doesn't think I go for them. Part of me thinks I go for a lower level SEC team, like I said, like Arkansas. I think I go for something that has a larger brand actually presence. But right now, what I'm going to do is really try to push the brands that are working. And that would be Tech, that would be BYU, that would be Arizona State, that would be Arizona. I think Baylor and TCU could get it. Both have. I would really push the ESPN and Fox to be like, hey, look at how fun these rivalries are. Look at how fun the Baylor TCU, I'm not calling it the Blue Bonnet battle, but look at how fun the rivalry is. Look at how fun Tech versus Arizona State is and has been for the past 2 years. And I really use some kind of magical powers to get them to think of us as a fun conference to watch, what the Pac-12 was. You know, maybe we're not going to be in the trenches, but we're lighting up the scoreboard.
Look, man, if you're a fan of one of the small schools the Big 12 added, tough to hear, but he's the expert. Fisher Hargrove, where can folks find more? Where can folks find more of your budding work?
They can find me on TikTok at FishyTakes19, all lowercase. I don't deal with caps. And that's the main place you'll be able to find me. I try to post as often as I can. Only Big 12 football. I love it. It's the best conference there is.
Amen. This is me using my phone as a microphone now because everything fell apart mid-show. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.